So back in 2021 when the first season of Arcane came out, I initially didn't watch it. I didn't know really anything about it, since I didn't play League of Legends. And at least from my circles there really wasn't any buzz. Plus I know things changed a bit, but video game adaptations don't have the best reputation.
Mother, you're alive.
Too bad you will die.
Damn, you barbecued his ass.
I mean, for the longest time, the best video game adaptation was the first Mortal Kombat, which is a fun movie but not exactly high art. So when hearing they're making a TV show based on an online game, I wasn't exactly filled with hope and anticipation. And I may be wrong considering this was 3 years ago. They released it in batches of 3 episodes like they're doing with the second season. And over the first 2 weeks, the buzz and word of mouth has spread that the show wasn't just good.
Really good.
And after the consensus of praise was too much to ignore, I watched it and was immediately converted into a big fan. I couldn't wait for the ending 3 episodes to be released, which, quick tangent, but I believe the binge model needs to die. Which, look, if I'm given all the episodes all at once, my lizard brain is not gonna say no. But the binge model is like fast food. We all want it, but it isn't good for us or the show. There's no chance for the show to breathe, and to take in, and discuss with friends. Break down, make theories and predictions about where the show is going to go. Like I said, build buzz, word of mouth, and anticipation. When it's all shoved out all at once, it's consumed quickly and after at best a couple weeks. Maybe a month if it's lucky, it's forgotten by everyone but the hardcore fans. And then it's on to the next show. That's not how a great show should be treated. It's like a 5-star chef's food being put in a buffet. It's not treated with the respect it deserves. It's treated like content. Sorry for the tangent. So I completed season 1, which, quick non-spoiler review, it's awesome. I highly recommend. You know a show is good when your main criticisms are nitpicks, which for me is little things here and there, which is basically some instances of plot armor and contrivances, but they're so small it's not a big deal, and some music choices that are not my taste. Like I'm not a fan of Imagine Dragons. They kinda remind me of Nickelback, a band so ubiquitous and rammed down everyone's throats, when their talent doesn't really support it. But hey, that's just one man's opinion. So that's the negatives. The positives are basically everything else. Excellent writing. Like in the past 10 years, the writing quality has really gone down the tubes. For every good show or movie with decent writing, there were like 5, with hand-fisted and on-the-nose dialogue, and characters that are supposed to be heroes acting like villains, and villains acting like heroes. Serious plot armor, plot holes, and contrivances. Hero journey stories where characters don't grow and aren't challenged, with no satisfying character arcs. And thankfully, Arcane is the exact opposite. A show with interesting characters really put through the ringer. Vi starting out as a teen just trying to survive in the harshest of environments, while taking care of her sister. Powder, who just wants to help her sister but keeps screwing up. Vander, who is their adopted father, is trying to keep them all safe. And Silco, one of the best villains in a long time, who used to be like brothers with Vander but he betrayed him. I could keep going, which is crazy that most shows have trouble writing a couple good characters, with satisfying arcs. And this show has like 7 or 8 great characters with no bad characters, and a great overall story that is a perfect vehicle to show them all off. Where the upper city of Piltover is basically a utopia, and the undercity of Zon is the exact opposite, and the two sides continue to go to war with each other, and the cast perfectly embodies and performs their roles to a T. Now in the age of animated voiceovers where studios feel the need to hire big-time actors despite the fact that none of that matters, when hiring them just for their voice. And since in that case the right voice should take precedent over star power, and that's certainly the case for Arcane where everyone's voice work is spot on.
I love a good conundrum.
Hammer forging is such delicate art.
Shimmer is rampant in the Undercity, attacks at the Hex Gates and in the Academy Square.
Yeah, but I said I already called it. You can't do... I called dibs.
The two most high-profile actors, Ella Purnell and Haley Steinfeld, are great, especially Ella, whose character is basically a better version of Harley Quinn, and she nails the voice and character perfectly, and everyone else in the cast from Victor to Silco perfectly embodied the characters. So at this point, based on the writing and the acting alone in the show, it's worthy of a recommendation. But the fact that somehow the animation and visuals are on the same level of quality is just incredible, and I can't gush enough about the visuals. From the character design, architecture, backgrounds, sounds and lighting. It just reminds me of the saying every frame a painting, where you can literally pause on almost any frame and it could be a painting. It's probably the best looking animated series I've seen. The action and fight scenes are better than 99% of the action movies that come out today, and I can't give enough praise for this show, which is why I couldn't wait for season 2, the last season, which is jarring and surprising, although I get it. The story of Vi and Jinx are just one story, and they can continue to tell stories in this world. Anyway, now to talk about season 2. Obviously there will be spoilers, but I will keep it light, so if you haven't watched it, and you want to watch this review, I will only give away just enough to properly review the season. Anyway, if you had any worry that they would drop the ball, so far with the first 3 episodes that were released, I can relieve your worries. The show hasn't skipped a beat, and all the positives that I said with the first season applies even more with the second. Pitch perfect writing, voice work, animation, and visuals. The first 2 episodes play out how you think they'd play out. When Jinx sent a missile into the council building, and the destruction she wrought, there's a period of mourning. But that doesn't last long, as Piltover is immediately provoked again. Vi, Caitlyn, and an elite squad are tasked with hunting down Jinx. And the question and conflict is, will Vi and Caitlyn actually kill Jinx? Will Mel and her mother take control of the city? What will Jace do, after he almost lost Victor in the Council City bombing? And the underworld leaders are left trying to figure out what to do after Silco is gone. Again, the first 2 episodes play out how you think they'd logically play out, but the third really sets up all the conflict for the rest of the season. And speaking for myself, I don't think they could have done a better job. Each character is faced with a challenging conflict that could go a ton of different ways. That most shows have a hard time doing that for one character, let alone so many for this show. And considering they pulled it off in the first season, I have all the confidence that they'll do the same for the second, which I can't wait for. So that's what I have to say so far. I will obviously review the rest when they come out, most likely in more in-depth. So see you then.
Look, go away. Read some books.